Hey, welcome back to the table. So I'm really excited. I want to give this a try where we try out this new, well, it's not new, but correctly apply the hold rule for the objectives. And of course it's 1943, so we no longer have the threat of them taking Midway in Hawaii right away, although there's always the threat that they could still go there. I think this pinning thing is a very interesting concept and one that we might be able to take advantage of. I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts in different directions here. I saved myself 6 points so I can have some battle plan points for the battles and so I can do some scouting. So obviously I put these on now because I'm trying to decide who's going to be moving and who's not. But just bear in mind that nobody's actually moving yet. And the reason I say that is because with this particular situation, this guy is not going to move because he'll be holding per the rules. Same with this one. So we know that they're going to stay there as part of the hold action. And then like these three are going to hold. This is going to hold. And then same concept here. This guy's going to hold. And three of these will hold. Although they haven't done it yet, this is what we know is going to happen per the rules. It's very predictable. And we also know per the rules that at minimum, the infantry aren't going to move. I think the land-based aircraft can get out of there. So even though we have them injured, but they can get out of Dodge. In fact, let me verify that. Infantry for sure. I always thought the aircraft can get away. And that's probably correct, but I've been wrong so many times. Yeah, you cannot move infantry that also contain U.S. forces. Everything else can move. Ships and planes can still move. So what I'm thinking I'm doing is let's scout 1, 2, 3. And they do have 3 more fleets at home. One of them being the battleship fleet and one of them being the carrier fleet. And maybe we can scout their carrier fleet as well. So if I were to do that, I'm spending 4 points. I would like to only spend 3 points. So I'm going to do that. I'm only going to spend 3 points. So I'm going to flip this over to 1 and then get rid of this. So we have 3 points left for battle plans. And so we're going to, like, for example, start with that guy. So I roll 4, and that's a refit. So he's heading back to Japan. And, oh, hold on. We have to add +1 now. So that would be a 5. It's still a refit. And so this moves up by 2. And Carrier Fleet 4 goes to Japan. And they are truly done. Okay. Then we move to Carrier Fleet 5. We're going to do the same thing. I rolled a 7. +1 is 8. They're going to withdraw 1 closer to Japan. This moves up by 1. So 1 closer to Japan. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are both equidistant. So even, odd, even. So he's going to Borneo. I know it doesn't seem like that's closer to Japan, but it's just as many spaces. So he goes, and I also forgot that when they do that, the refit takes planes with them. So these planes will have moved up and are out of action. And same with this. The support or the withdrawal only takes 2 planes with them, but those planes would also go with them. So there's a lot less to actually do orders with. And then we're going to do Carrier Fleet 2. So that's a 10 +1 is 11. It's a support. So they go backwards, I'm pretty sure, in a support. That's the thing about support. It's a weird one. It's almost like a withdrawal. Yeah, they move 1 area closer to the Japan area. So he's going to go to Iwo Jima and do that. All right, so here's our landscape. We have all of their carriers pinned and we know where they're going to end up, except for one fleet. The carrier, there's 3 fleets here that are still possibly going to move around. And so that means we might be able to go after some serious targets here and take them. Or if I want, this carrier fleet 3 looks juicy and I can maybe try to take them down. There's lots of choices here for us to make. And I don't even think there's a wrong choice to make in this situation. But taking objectives is super nice and definitely worth doing. But at the same time, I really, really, really want to wipe out a fleet. So I want to go after this. And it's still an objective. And but I think we are equipped with our Navy to be able to do that. Like, this is a pretty formidable Navy. And I want to go there and I want to wipe out their carrier fleet 3. So with that being said, I still want to do things like, for example, the Gilbert Islands is under attack by us. We're there and ready to take it. So can I afford to, like, maybe break off a cruiser, just one, to help out? And, that's really where the answer starts to get to, well, maybe. And so, and if I do send one cruiser here and they end up sending a whole carrier fleet, then I'm going to lose my cruiser because I got to be careful about that. My air units can't, well, actually, I can send air units here because since I'm landed, I can send 4 air units there. So let's send them some air support. We have a whole stack of planes here on Hawaii. Here's one that's a 4-4. Here's a 1-5. Here's another 1-5. That's 3 of them. And here's the 4th one. So if I send those to the Gilbert Islands, that's going to help out. And I maybe don't need to send some ships there. That's actually a sweet move right there. I have 1 infantry on the west coast. This right here, the 43rd Infantry. So I can bring them with me to try to take the Solomon Islands. So our Marine has good support there. I like that. And the last thing is, could I possibly maybe take Wake Island? And I have here 3 Marines, or not Marines, but infantry, that I can send to try to take Wake Island. It's not a Marine unit. That's the problem. Marine unit's going to be available next turn. Once I get Marine units, I can start to take objectives like this a lot easier. It does make Midway weak, and it is possible that they could still attack Midway. And I just realized something else that I can do. So I can put these guys back. I can send this guy to Wake Island because I actually have an Aussie infantry that can take the Solomon Islands instead. So we can do that. Now the question becomes, I may want to send more than one. So let's send 2 of the 3 with him. So we have 3 guys trying to take that. And now, should I provide a ship for them? Well, I got, like, for example, a nice battleship with a 6. I mean, that's a pretty awesome battleship. But I'm going to send the Honolulu Nashville over so they at least have 1 cruiser to support them. I could probably maybe send another one. I just don't know. If I'm really going up against a full carrier fleet, I don't want to send too many. But at least give them some extra support. I can't send any of my land-based planes, of course, but if I at least land on Wake Island, and then I can bring my planes over, right? There's room for 3 planes after I land there. Some of these don't let you bring planes if you're the invader, like Midway's one of them, but I can't remember what the rules are for these. But for example, let's try to take Wake Island. So yes, I'm risking 1 cruiser, and I think that's all my moves, right? So we're gonna now try to see what Japan's gonna do. So right here, there's 1 unit that I need to roll for, so he would go first. And then we still have to do the hold orders, so even though I have them flagged, they still have to perform them, but we gotta go in order. So this one would be first. yeah, there's nothing else to move. So then we would do, this one would be second. Yeah, they're pretty much tied. But this one would be second because this is less ships here. Second, and then third, and then Japan would be fourth. That's the only ones moving. So let's start with this guy. It's the injured plane, which during the Japanese repair step, that plane may have actually gone into the reinforcement pool. So give me a second. That would have happened at the end of 42. So when they have injured units like that, they go back for refit and repair. Definitely the ships. I think the plane and the infantry does as well. We don't do this that often. Move any damaged Japanese counters to the bottom of the reinforcement stack of that type of force. Do not move infantry if they're with U.S. forces. Do not move the last infantry or land-based aircraft, even if it is damaged. So in this case, this aircraft is going to automatically be at the bottom of the reinforcement pool. So he's not even doing an action this turn. That makes sense. So we're really doing this hold order here. So if we do the hold order, that's going to pop up. And then this one's doing a hold order, so that pops up. And now we're going to Japan. So yes, it escalated. Well, actually, we're not going to Japan yet. In fact, let me back up. This one still has one plane and one infantry. So that means this one would have had less troops. So he would have done his hold order first. Yeah, this one would have done his hold order first. And now we did the other hold order, and now we have two extra stuff we need to deal with. Okay, so let's roll. Well, that's a 4. Plus a 4 is an 8. It's a withdrawal, one closer to Japan. And I'm going to do, remember, they go wherever the least amount of troops are. So these two are going to go this way. Well, last time we had to roll, but now they're going to go this way. So they're covered there. And yes, now we're doing Japan. And withdrawal caused this to go up to plus 10, or plus 8. No plus 10s. All right, Surface Fleet 1. 9 plus 8 is 17. They're doing a sortie against a U.S. held objective. So this would be 3, 6, 9. And no matter which one they choose, it's going to be bad for us. And I rolled an 8. So they're going to Midway. So that would be 3, 6, 7, 8. Yep. They're going to Midway. And unfortunately, the part that's going to hurt is they bring with them 4 infantry units. That's the part that hurts. So I don't think they're going to necessarily win, but they're going to cause us to, because of those 4 infantry units, they're going to cause us to, we're probably not going to, win the battle. And then the other thing is, I usually send these to Midway. See, these guys I send to Midway once they're already on the island, because they have the 1-4, 1-5. These are the guys I send to Midway when they're not. And I know I'm retconning, but I've been consistently doing that with every playthrough. I switch out my planes depending on if they're coming in from the sea or by land. Okay, so Midway's a threat. We sort of knew something was going to happen. And that causes this to go down by 4. And then they do the carrier fleet. So this is a 5 plus 4 is 9. They're doing a withdrawal, which becomes a hold. So the carrier fleet holds. Oh, and by the way, that sortie would have caused 2 planes to stay in Japan. And then this one's going to cause 3 more planes to stay in Japan and an infantry. That was the battleship fleet. They already had all their transport. Yeah. So now we're doing another roll. This one is for the surface fleet. I rolled a 10 plus 8. That's another sortie, so 3, 6, 9. This one's a 6. So this surface fleet 1 is going here. We're going to lose the game. 1, 2, 3, 4. if I take this objective, 1, 2, 3, if I take this objective, I'm only going to have 4. That's going to lose the game for us. Oh, no. If I take Wake Island, I'll be okay. So I'm going to possibly take 2 of their objectives, and they're just going to take 2 of ours. I mean, this is bad. So the plane staying, Surface Fleet 1 has its own infantry. And the part that's bad is they may not completely take the island, but what they're doing is they're going to flip the objective marker to their side. And there's not much we can do about it. I'm really glad I kept my battle plan points, and even with all that scouting, they're still causing some harm. But that's the thing. They're doing sorties now, so all of the objectives are fair game, and it makes them actually a little bit more random. At least in the past, we knew they were going to go to Midway when they rolled big. Now it's not as clear. So, oh, we still have their infantry. So the sortie caused us to go down by 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. So they have infantry moving south. So this one would move south. And then one more final infantry is also moving south. So now they're done. And we can remove all the markers. They have a lot of pieces in various, like they're going to get a lot of plus points because they have a lot of tiny islands with 1 or 2 troops on them, which are going to jack up the points, right, when they do their die rolls. So they're going to get a lot of high rolls next time. All right, so I see a whole bunch of battles here. The first one, let's do, if I don't take my 2 objectives, I lose. I have to take both of the objectives. And the reason is because I'm going to lose 2 objectives. And I need to have 4. I need to have 5 in order to survive this. So 4 or less is replaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is where I'm at now. And so they're going to take 2 away. There's no way I can prevent that. So I have to take my 2. So right now the Wake Island one is becoming critical. And I don't know if I can pull it off, to be quite honest. So Wake Island, the invader may not have airfields. If the U.S. has never held the island, they get a fortification counter, which makes our life even worse. They have only 1 battalion. That's the only good news in this situation. We have a full-blown transport with 3 units on it, but none of them are Marines, and we do have a cruiser that can help. The number of battle turns is a crucial role. We could lose just from 1 die roll here, and I rolled a 9. That was super, super important. That gave us 4 turns to take this island. So now I can rest assured that our infantry are going to land, be able to move to the foxhole, and possibly do damage. So for sure we're going to get artillery, right? And then I'm going to get, if my surface attack hits, it'll do an extra hit. So those will be my 3 points, and I don't think I need to do anything more. That should win it for me. I need to do 3 hits to win this, and that is a little scary, but let's try it. They do get 1 battle plan. Oh, their infantry gets a huge advantage. However, their infantry has nobody to attack this turn. So let's start with our cruiser. That's a miss. And then the infantry has nobody to attack. So we land on the beach. Now there's 3 turns left. We start next turn. Uh-oh, they're going to reduce our battle duration by 1. I may have to retcon again. I'm just getting angry here. Okay, cruiser. That's another miss. I don't like this die. It's not doing good for us. So we missed again. Now they get to attack with a 1, and they missed. They needed a 1. We rolled a 3. We have artillery, so we're going to kill their fortification. So now we're down to this situation. We would normally go to 2, but they're going to cause it to go to 1, so only 1 turn left. And I may have to spend a battle plan point to retcon this. Our surface attack is a 4 or less, and there it is. There's a 2, and ship surface attack does an extra hit. And at the hair on my chinny chin chin, I kill the battalion with 2 hits. And yes, we take Wake Island, and they will never be able to build a fortification there again. And we now have Wake Island with 3 of our infantry units coming on board. I really would have liked to have had these on Midway right now, but it is what it is. And yes, the cruiser assignment was crucial to being able to take that over. That CRU stands for crucial. All right, so we did our first of the 2 things we need to do. Now the tougher of them is Solomon Islands. I don't think the rules for Solomon Islands are going to help us at all. The other thing about Solomon Islands is I wanted to destroy their fleet. I didn't necessarily want to take the objective. Now all of a sudden I have to take the objective, which makes life a lot more stressful. If the Japanese start with forces ashore, add 1 land-based aircraft from the reinforcement area, and they get 2 Japanese battalions to Japanese transport. So that's not good. So 1 aircraft arrives, and then their transport from Carrier Fleet 3, they already have 1 because the Carrier Fleet 3 has 2 infantry, and they're going to add 2 more. Okay, we just lost. I can't defeat this. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I'm going to need a lot of turns. I mean, that's 2, 4, that's 8 hits just on the transport alone. Very, very difficult to defeat. And then we got to get the carrier fleet out, which is going to be a very formidable set of ships. So what do we got here? So we have a light cruiser, an escort, or I'm sorry, light carrier, escort carrier, and 2 full-size carriers. And then the battleship, thankfully, has to escort them. So that's what we have for them. Before I even get my stuff out, I want to see how many turns we're going to get. 5 is only 2 turns. Oof. So I'm spending a battle plan point just to increase the amount of turns by 1. They have 3 more planes on their airfields here. So they got an airfield size of 4. The other alternative is I have to somehow defeat an entire invading. There's no way. I mean, it's just too many hits. And then they even have an infantry in a foxhole. I mean, they have a whole bunch of stuff for us to hit here. There's just not enough hits to go around. So here's what we have. We have a destroyer, which I'm going to have to put on escort carrier duty. We have a carrier, cruiser, a battleship. Here's another carrier, a 3rd carrier. This is where we're going to have our edge. Another destroyer, a 3rd destroyer, so 1 for each carrier. We have 2 submarines, which are going to go after them. And we have a 4th carrier, a cruiser, cruiser, and a cruiser. I mean, we definitely have the edge as far as ships go, but boy, gosh darn it, we got to do a lot of hits. Okay, so with that in mind, we need to do a lot of hits. Increase battle turns by 1. I don't have any Marines, so I can't do that. I want to have artillery, which will hit once, so that's 2. And then I also want my ship's surface attack to do an extra hit. I can do dogfights. I want a bomb success to be an extra hit. I can roll for an extra attack with infantry if I wanted, but there's not enough, well, there could be enough turns. So that would be 2 battle plan points. I only have 1 more battle plan point if I want to do more. The other crazy thing is I would love to sink those carriers. We're just not going to win. I mean, this is a loss already. I know I hate to say it, but I really wanted to redo 1942 for the 5th time with the rules as we understand them now, because I think we would have been able to take more objectives. I mean, right now we're going into 1943 so low on objectives. Oh, you know what? There's this one. I might be able to take this one. All hope is not lost. I need to save a battle plan for this one. So I'm going to just spend 2, and that's what I'm going to deal with. And I am sinking their carriers. I'm going full bore on their carriers here. So how many do they get? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 for them is 3 battle plans. So I'm sure they'll draw no ocean contact. It's always my favorite in a time like this. So, of course, they draw first light. Next. Oh, they're adding a battalion. Oh, come on. This is more bad news. And then, third one, they get a +1 to all their attack rolls. Okay, all 3 of those hurt us. So let's get out some ships. For them, first light means that these 3 planes are coming at us before we even launch our planes. So that's their situation. And yes, their torpedo guys are really good. So they also have 1 other set. They have 1 more set that they're going to send somewhere. And then, of course, the light carrier is going to have another 0 with a bomber. And then the escort carrier just has a bomber. So this is the 3 sets that aren't coming out. This is the first light situation. And yeah, so the problem with this is they could damage our carrier before we even get a chance to do anything. So first things up is, remember, they have to go through 2 rows. So all 3 destroyers fire with a 3 for us. So there's 1, 2 hits right there. And remember, we have to destroy things outright. And so this is a bracket of 1, so their 0's gone. So we can get just 1 more hit. And remember, the anti-air is the count before we applied the hit. So I get to roll 3 of these as well. So this is a 6-3, a 4-2, and a 2-1. Okay, so let's do them one at a time. Let's do the 6-3. That's a 3. That's 2 hits. Yes. The 4-2 is a miss, and the 2-1 is a miss. So we got 2 more hits on them, and yes, we can take out the torpedo before it even makes it through. So now the only thing that made it through was their 4, and they do get +1, so it's a 5. Let's hope that they miss. And they did not. They hit us. Dang it. Dang it, dang it. So, so the Lexington is going to take a hit and it can't launch its planes. That hurts us. That's a whole lot of planes, folks. Just because one guy made it through. All because of that stupid pre-attack. All right, well, for us, we have a lot going on here. We have 1, 2, we still have 3 carriers worth of planes that launch here. We have 3 sets of Wildcats. As you can see, you have a lot better numbers. We have improved dive bombers, torpedo bombers, and then since our Enterprise is upgraded, the Enterprise well, no, it's still only a 5. Never mind. It's not the Essex class, which has extra. The Essex class has extra planes on it. I mean, we're going to make a decent showing of this. It's just, man, oh man, if we would have had that one extra carrier, you can see how much more power we would have been projecting here. And yeah, we still have 3 sets of planes, like so, which can make some difference. Now, like I said, I wanted to go after their carriers, but if I really want to take this island, with only 2 turns, I need to go after the island. But see, they're already damaging our carriers with their planes, so we need to seriously consider taking out their carriers. And also, by taking out their carriers, we can do some very serious damage. One of them's a 1942, and so that one will never be replaced. The 43 ones, since we're at the first month of 43, they'll at least be gone the rest of this year. And if they don't have a 44 token, they'd be gone permanently. There's a lot of sweet opportunity here. I really should have done this battle first so I can know if we at least preserved our objectives. That's the thing. I did this out of order. I really don't know if I can do both, like hit the carriers and win on the land front. One other argument to be made is that our bombers are tailored to handle sea attacks. So going after, for example, the land targets is a less probability of a hit for us. We could go after their transports, which amazingly are undefended. So we could hit those battalions sitting on the transport with our sea attack, and that would help ultimately with the land battle. So those are the kind of things I think we have to contemplate here. By taking out their carriers, we at least wipe out their planes. That's always a good thing. Beyond that, I don't know what else there is to add. They also have a bunch of planes of their own. And yes, the Lexington is on the verge of sinking, which we don't want. That's already going to cost me 2 points to repair. All right, I'm going all in. All my bombers are going after their carriers. We're going straight for their carriers. My fighters, 2 of them are staying to defend my carriers. And then one of them is going to attack over, well, the island's not going to matter. One of them's going to defend my cruisers in case they go after my cruisers. So I'm going to have 1 fighter escort there and 2 fighter escorts. I'm not going to send any fighter escorts over the carriers, the enemy carriers. Okay, so let's roll for them. They have their first bomber group, carrier bomber group, is a 6. So the torpedo and dive bomber are going after our cruisers. Then we have the light carrier is a 5. He's also going after our cruisers. And then 7. This one's going after our carriers. And I probably didn't need to put 2 fighters over the carriers. It should have been the other way around. And then the land-based bombers is a 5. They're also going after our cruisers. This would have been a smarter choice. I wasn't thinking. So now we're going to go the 0 on the full. This 0 is going to help them. The next 0 is coming after our carriers, and then the final land-based zeros are all coming here. So I missed the big battle. The thing is none of them are defending their own carriers, so that part's good. So we go to the dogfight. So let's start with our carriers. I have 2 6-3s. And I rolled a 6 and a 5. That is 2 hits, so it's something. And then they have a 7-4, which they rolled an 8-4. So we did do 2 hits, and unfortunately it's just going to kill their 0. Not the bombers. This bomber is out. That was the first light bomber. And then over our cruisers, I have 1 6-3, and I rolled a 2, which is 2 hits. All that's going to do is kill one of their zeros. And they have a 7-4. Yeah, a 7-4. That's 2 hits. And 8-4. I don't even need to roll anymore. They did 2 hits. They destroyed our fighter. And we destroyed one of them. So I'm going to go after the land-based one. Largely because I'm thinking that we're going to nail some carriers and they're going to lose their zeros. Okay, so now after doing that, we have to do anti-air. So let's start with them. We're sending 9 planes after them, so everything here you see is going to get to roll their anti-air. So they have a 3, 2 2-1s, and 2 4-2s. Okay, so let's do the 2 4-2s. That is 2 plus 1, that's 3 hits. The 2 2-1s, that's a 4th hit, and then a 3 is a 5th hit. Oh my gosh, they do 5 hits on us. So 2 2 2, we get to choose. So 2 4, our torpedo bombers are going down, and then 5. I do like how the numbers and stuff, like making the right choice to maximize your hits. The torpedo bombers are the first to go, which it feels very thematic to me. Okay, so that's the damage to us. So now let's do damage to them. Here we have a 2 2 2 2 2. So 5 2s and a 4. So 1 2 3 4 5 2s. Let's hope we hit just as much. Those were all misses. And then a 4, which was also a miss. So we missed everything. And then for us, we have 3 3s. Oh, I'm sorry, there's only 1 plane coming in. Only 1 plane's attacking us. So 1 3, that's a hit. And then a 6 3 is a miss. So all we did was 1 hit on this guy. And so he's attacking us with a 2. And that's a 4. So he missed us. That's good, because that would have been more carriers lost for us. They're going to get to attack our cruisers here. So they're rolling a 4, 4, 4, 3 4s, and a 6. That's not good. Here's the 3 4s. There's 1 hit, and then here's the 6. That's another hit. So they hit us twice. So I got to apply 2 hits here, which I don't want to do because I need all of my hits here. But sure, we're going to take a hit and a hit like so. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. So now we get to attack their carrier. And we have a 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5s. So let's do the 2 first. That's a miss. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 5s. Oh my gosh, miss, 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 and only 1 hit. How awful of a roll must I do? And I apologize, I've been forgetting about the +1. So it is possible we got hit some other times. This just angers me. Okay, so we hit 1 single time. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the extra bomb hit. So we're going to sink a ship. And they're all rated the same, so I'm sinking a full size. So the Chicago is going down. And that means that the planes that go with it are going to go down with it. We should have hit way more than just once. So angry about that. So now we do torpedoes. We have 2 2s. There's a hit. So we just hit another carrier. So the Zuikaku will also take a hit. And then they have a 2 and a 1 for their depth charges. They do hit us once. So that's not good. All right. And then we go to naval guns. They don't have any, but we do. We have 2 2, 3 4s, and a 6. So 2 2s. Those are both hits. That's good. 3 4s. Come on, keep it up. There's 2 more hits. So that's at 4. Then we have a 6. Come on. 6. So we just did 5 hits. That's amazing. These are both rated 0. So this is 4 of the hits. Nothing I can do about that. They definitely have to take the hits first. That's 4. And now I'm applying 2 more hits. And that's going to be against the airfield. So this drops down to a size 2 airfield. And I'm going to do the surface attack does an extra hit. And I'm going to knock them down to 1 on their airfield. So we're going to eliminate some planes that way. And that brings us to the end of the round. So everybody needs to land now. My planes are fine. But now we got a situation where they have a light carrier, so they can take 1 0, this one, and a D3A, and then an escort, which can take a D3A. And that's it. All the other planes, this one, and this one gets destroyed. And then for here, they can only land 1 plane, and it's going to be the 2, because these 2 are lower rated, so they're both getting destroyed. And anytime you see a 1942 on the tile, it's because there was no 43 upgrade, and those get eliminated from the game. But these 2 are going back into the reinforcement pool. All right, so we land on the beach. These guys land on the beach. Transports go away. We reduce down to 1 turn, but I'm going to spend my thing to bring it back up to 2. And now we're going to draw 3 more battle plans for them. And I do have infantry ashore, so I'll be able to get a hit with that. I still like what's happening. Most of their planes are gone. So here's the first one. They get a huge bonus to the anti-air. Another huge bonus to their anti-air. And then their depth charge rolls gets a huge bonus. So that's not good. So it might behoove us to not go after their carriers this turn since the anti-air is so high. So with that being said, as far as dishing out where our bombers are going to go, I'm going to go 100% against the land targets. And I'm also going to send my fighters against their land targets as well. Because I think that's really where they're going to end up rolling. So actually, I'm going to send 1 fighter. Oh, that's actually a good question. They could go after our cruisers. Everything's going against the land target. We're going to go over the land. So now let's roll for their carrier, light carrier. They rolled a 7. So their light carrier is going after our carriers. Then the escort rolled a 2. So that means it's going over the land. And then the 0 on the carrier is going over the land. And then I forgot to roll for the bomber on land. He's also going after the carriers. So I actually have 2 of them coming after my carriers. Interesting. This might be I might pay a penalty for this. Okay, so there's no anti-air against my units. That was intentional since they're getting huge. I mean, this is a plus 6 / +4 to the anti-air rolls. That would have been suicide. So you got to avoid their stuff. But we get to roll 3 3s for our first line of 2 3s because there's only 2 planes coming in. First line of defense, and they're both misses. And then I get a 4-2. There's a 2 hits, and then I get a 6-3, and that's a 2. So that's 4 hits. We actually destroyed both of their planes. That was amazing. And then this plane's also a 43. So all those planes are gone. I forgot to do dogfight. Over the island, we have 2 6-3s. There's a hit for 2. So we are going to destroy their 0. And their 0 rolls a 1. So he's going to destroy one of our Hellcats. So one of our Hellcats goes down. And then his 0 goes down. And then he is going to get to bomb with a 4. So let's roll for his 4. That is a hit. And it's going to hit our infantry. Knocks them down a notch. And then we're going to bomb, first of all, our fighter bombs with a 2, which is a miss. Then we have 6, oh, we have another 2, which is a miss. And then we have, just knocked a bunch of stuff over. These are worse than sleeve cards. Okay, so we get 6 3s. I see 1 hit. Miss, 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 miss. It's a big Christmas. So 1 hit from us. So that means 1 battalion takes a hit. And that is a miserable outcome. That's why we don't attack the land, huh? Okay, so now we do our torpedo rolls. We are rolling a 2 and a 1. So the 1 will be this blue die. And of course that one gets the 2, and then we have a 6, so that doesn't help. Now they get a +4, +2 on their torpedo, their depth charge. So for their depth charge, this is going to be a 6/2. That's 2 hits. They destroy one of our subs. And then the other one's going to be a 5/2. That's a hit. So they actually destroy both submarines. So we lost both of them. I guess that's not the end of the world, but they are sort of nice to have. But yeah, all because of this piece of crap. Nothing we can do about that. Okay, so now we're going to go to our naval attack. We have 2 2s, misses. We have 3 4s, 2 hits, and then we have a 6. Which is a miss. So 2 hits from our naval ships is going to eliminate a battalion and injure another. That's everything. So now everybody moves into their foxholes. Oh no, infantry. We're going to get another attack in. So we eliminate another battalion. So 2 of them are in the foxholes. We only have 4 hits to apply, and we can actually win this target. That's going to make what do I do with my carriers even harder. Oh my gosh, I mean, I would love to sink those carriers, but I actually am only 4 hits away from winning this thing. That is going to be a tough call. Because with I only did 1 hit with these planes, but if I can do 2 hits with those and then 2 more with the, it's almost my duty to go after the land targets and let that carrier survive. But that carrier is just 1 hit away from dying. Well, let's see what the battle plans do, because sometimes it'll be no contact in the ocean. So here's the first one. First light, so their final bomber is going to come after us. Then this one's out, kamikazes. Then there it is, no contact, no attacks in that answers the question for us. And oh, they wanted to emphasize it, no contact again. Okay, well that answers the question for us. And yeah, we're actually in a little bit of trouble because they're coming after our carrier right away. So I get to roll a 3 for the destroyer. That missed, and then a 6/3 for the carrier. That's a 2. We completely destroyed their plane. So that's not an issue. We're safe from that threat. So now it's just us trying to hit those land targets. So I have 2 2s that miss, and then 3. I have 6 3s from our dive bombers. And I got 1 more hit out of all that. So just 1 hit. That is not going to do the job. So 1 battalion flips over. And then we have 2 2s from our from our cruisers. Those are misses, and then 3 4s. 1, 2, there's 3 hits right there. That's enough. We actually took the island, folks. Oh my gosh. We did it. So Solomon Islands flips to the good guys. And we do have an injured guy we'll have to repair. We do have some injured ships. We lost 2 subs out of the deal, but we sank a carrier. And all in all, I think that was okay. We also have 2 damaged cruisers, but again, all in all, that's okay. It is going to cost me some points to repair my ships. Having 4 carriers in a fleet is awesome. I still think I probably would have gone after their carriers and thought that there was no way I was going to hit those final targets. So I'm glad they drew the no contact for that reason. But sinking their carriers, that takes them out for the rest of the year. There's some real nice benefit to that. So this is going to cost me 4 points to repair because the carrier costs 2. And so I'm going to just set aside, I'm repairing it now, but I'm going to set aside 4 points. So I know, as a reminder, that's going to be a repair cost for me. And I'm just going to put it on my production line. So I know I have to take 4 points off. And technically I need 5 points because I got to repair this guy too. So I might as well just get that out. Okay, next. Let's do this one, and maybe we'll actually come out ahead here because we just took 2 objectives from them, and maybe we'll even take a 3rd, and then we lose 2. That's still a net gain for us. These battle plans are brutal. What time is it? I'm going to have to quit soon, but yeah, these carriers, I had them in my sights. That first light saved them. I really believe, because if I would have had another set of carrier planes, and because we're playing 1943 now, I'm not going to get 4 carriers back on the board again until another 3 turns. That's the thing. It's such a weird delay. Okay, so let's move on to the Gilbert Islands. And the thing that stinks about them is they keep getting those 2 fortification markers because we've yet to take the dang island. So 2 fortification. Our Marine is already in the foxhole. And just knocked over a bunch of ships. They have a damaged infantry in their foxhole, which doesn't do anything. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 planes. They have no ships. Like I said, 2 fortification. They draw 2 extra battle plans, but otherwise they're only going to draw 1. So they'll draw 3 for the first turn. And as you can see, I went after the heavy ground attack ones. And so what am I going to do? I'm going to take the leathernecks because I have a Marine on shore, which is going to be very helpful. And then I'm going to take the one that says that my bomb attack does 1 extra hit. So now, do I want to spend another battle plan point to add artillery and all that stuff? I really don't, but it would guarantee that I win this. I get to see how many turns this is going to be. That might dictate things. 6 is 3 turns. That's a good, healthy amount of turns. I'm going to just leave it at that. Let's just see how this plays out. And yeah, I'm being stingy with my points, but I want to be. I really... It always backfires, though, when I do this. Okay, so from a Japanese perspective, they have no anti-air. Their only attack on us is going to be during the infantry phase, and otherwise it's free reign. So we're going after their island. We have 1 4 and 3 5s. So here's the 4. It's a miss, and here's the 3 5s. 2 hits, and then like we said, we're going to make this a 3rd hit. So what that does is that kills the 2 fortifications and eliminates the battalion. So we at least got through. And then we get to the infantry phase where this is going to be them and this is going to be us. They're rolling a 4 and we're rolling a 5. So we missed and they hit. So we got to use the leathernecks and that blocks their hit. And now they move to 2 turns left. So we're going to bomb. So this is going to be the 4. That's a miss, and then 3 5s. That's a hit and another hit. So we wiped them out. We actually won without spending a battle point. So that's even better. And I have the card sleeve issue again, trying to get this infantry to the bottom of the reinforcement stack. All right, so we took another objective from them. So we're sitting really good. Now, from here on out, I know that they're going to cause us to lose the other 2 objectives, but that doesn't mean we're going to lose the island, if that makes sense. I now just want to at least survive long enough that we can bring in reinforcements, because now that we know a battle's occurring on that island, we can do something like that. So for example, let's do Samoa. And being able to take Wake Island, for example, was really nice. It was almost like a freebie to be able to sneak that one in. So for example, Samoa, the Japanese aren't beginning. Oh, I forgot to draw their battle plans for that last. So it would have been 1, 2, 3 on the first round. So they would have hit us. So my Marine, or no, I would have lost one of my planes, I think. Because we blocked 1 hit from the infantry, and yes, they would have damaged one of my planes, which, so I'm gonna go ahead and kill. I'm just gonna destroy one of my planes, because that's a 2. Well, no, actually the airfield is only a bracket of 1, so they would have hit the airfield. So I would have lost a plane. So I'm gonna kill this plane, but I'm gonna keep the outcome, and we'll just have to rebuild that later. Okay, so for Samoa, we have this situation. We have 1 in the foxhole, and we have 2 planes going up against a million things. These guys are all in the transport, and then Surface Fleet 1 is not something to sneeze at. I mean, I know I got feedback. You need to play these out and not just forfeit because you're making it harder on yourself. There is nothing to play out here. These guys are gonna just destroy me, unless they roll like I do. So this submarine is useless, so I'm just gonna put it back on the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They get 2 battle plans per turn, and that's it. So they're gonna land 3 units, and right now we're gonna. So what can I do? I can do my bombers get an extra hit. My airplanes. So I can make sure a bomb success does an extra hit. If I want to spend another point, I can, maybe add artillery to the mix. Let's see how many turns there is. 6 is a healthy 3 turns. Yeah, I'm going to lose my planes. I'm going to lose everything. I don't see this as a winning proposition. So I'm not going to spend any battle points for this. I'm really glad I took the Gilbert Islands because now I still have a supply path because I'm going to lose Samoa. But anyways, to move beyond this, let's draw their 2 battle plans. Damage control doesn't help us. And their infantry gets a bonus in combat, which actually doesn't help them right now. So we're going to go ahead and attack them. They're going to get to roll anti-air, which is 2 2s. And they at least miss. And then we roll against the sea is 2 3s. And we actually hit, which is interesting because we would have sank a ship if it wasn't for the fact that they stop a hit. So that hurts us a lot. But I will apply the extra hit, why not? And at least damage one of their ships. So let's damage their this is a 1942 one, so we know if we can sink this one, he'll be gone forever. So let's at least damage that one. And yeah, the turn comes to an end. Or no, they have to attack us. So 2, 3, 3, and 4. So 2, that's a hit. 3, 3, misses, and then a 4 is a hit. So they just did 2 hits to us. And so we can say the battalion's dead. Because the battalion has a 0. So he's got to take the hits first. All right, so then their guys land. This goes away. And it's our turn again. And I'm going to go after their ships. Because I know I'm not going to be able to defend the island. Although my bombers are better against the island. I could, maybe take out a few of their battalions. But I think taking out their ship is more valuable. So I'm going to make them roll anti-air. So here's 2 2s. And of course they hit 1. So one of our planes, just to move it over into view, one plane took a hit, so now it's a 2 2. So this will be the 2, and that's the 3. And there's a 1 and a 3. Boom, we just did 2 hits on them. So this cruiser is gone for good. He's a 42 cruiser. Just need to find where I was putting those. And then we got another one, so we're going to take this cruiser down a notch as well. So yeah, I mean, this is all just for all for giggles, because now they're going to roll, and they roll a 2. It's a miss, and then they roll 2 3s, which did miss. So our planes survive another round. So now we're to the final round. And yes, you could argue I would have killed a whole battalion. I still think sinking their ship is a better outcome than killing a battalion in this situation. So I'm going to go after them again. So let's roll 2 anti-aircraft, 2 2. They miss. And then I have a 2 3. So this guy will be the 2. This one's the 3. And of course I missed. My streak of luck was too good. And now they roll a 2 and 2 3s. And nothing happens. And now their 3 battalions are going to roll 1s. And they did get a 1. So this plane's going to be destroyed because they destroyed my airfield. So yeah, I will lose that injured plane. But the battle's going to end with 3 of them on the island of Samoa. We have 1 plane still on Samoa. And yeah, this is going to flip. And their Surface Fleet 1 is going to be reduced to nothing but 2 destroyers and a sub. This cruiser is going to go into the refit pool. So Surface Fleet 1 took some nice damage. All right, last but not least is Midway. We know that Midway's rules isn't going to change things. Midway must be up here already. Nope. Where the heck is Midway? Oh, there it is. All right, so all that says is they just can't use the airfields. We have 2 planes and 1 infantry. And this one, we want the battle to end as soon as possible. I mean, they got a crap ton of infantry, and then their battleship fleet is only 2 ships, but one of them has an attack value of 7, and the other one has an attack value of 5. It's 2 battleships. So let's see how many turns this one's going to be. 1 second. Just want to get this to slide underneath because my camera keeps forcing. There we go. Okay, my camera keeps making it move. So, all right, how many turns? We want low. We want to roll 1 or a 2. 3 means 2 turns. So, okay, so what we can do is we can say bomb success is 1 extra hit and actually sink one of those battleships. I mean, that is very possible. I am going to take it, and I'm going to spend a battle plan point to get more points. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to reduce the number of turns by 1. I want to stop a hit on an airfield because that'll protect us from getting hit for 2. But what's the other one going to be? That's the issue. There's nothing I can do to make, my planes do more or anything like that. My infantry, I can make it so they get to do an extra attack. I mean, that's the best I can add to that. I mean, was that worth an extra point? I don't know. Being able to stop a hit on an airfield, because they're rolling a 7 and a 6, or 5, that's a big deal. All right, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6, so the battle plans is 2. 2 battle plans for them. We don't want the AA one. That's the big one. So we got carrier attack and no contact. So that's good. So we're going all in. As you can see, they're going to get naval attack and they're going to get anti-air with their naval. That's it. Our infantry does get to attack, but for the first turn, there's nothing for us to attack. There's only 2 rounds. I'm okay with only 2 rounds, but I'm going to use those 2 rounds to try to sink one of those battleships. So they roll 2 anti-air, which is 3 each. Those are misses. That's what we wanted. And now here's the magic roll. We're rolling 2 4s. That's 40% chance each. So let's hope that one of these hits. And there it is, a 3 and an 8. That's a miss, but the 3 hits. And then we're going to apply the bomb success for an extra hit. And we're actually going to sink one of these. The Congo Haruna is sunk. That is awesome. Obviously, we didn't get the Yamato, but that's okay. I'm so happy. So now they land on the beach. And we're on to the final turn. Oh, they get to do their attack, which is a 7. So they hit, and that's why I bought this. So we blocked their hit. So we stopped their hit on the airfield. So now it's the final round. They roll a 3 for anti-air. They do hit. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to flip one of my mags over. So now we attack with a 2. We're still going after the battleship, by the way. Our 2 missed, and then we're attacking with a 4, which does hit. So we just hit the Yamato. I wish I had another turn now. So Yamato is damaged, and then their Yamato gets to attack us for a 3. It will hit, and I forgot to draw their battle plan, so give me a second. They get 2. So that meant that they got an extra hit, and their anti-air already hit, so we don't have to worry about that. I think I rolled a 3 with that, in fact. So I think we're okay there. This would have meant that they would have hit with their naval attack, but they already hit with their naval attack as well. And that 3, by the way, is more than 2. So they didn't do 2 hits. And all I'm trying to say is that this plane is going to be destroyed. Or you know what? I can actually do the hit on my infantry. like that, which means it's going to cost me 2 more points to repair these guys. So I'm up to 7 now for all my repairs. And yeah, the round's over. Oh, it's not over. We get to roll a 2, and I rolled a 3, so our infantry didn't hit. I do get an extra infantry attack, and that also missed. So yeah, they're on midway with 4 troops. We only have 1 and 1 plane. Well, actually, we have the 2 planes, and I am repairing them, but it's going to cost me 2 more. And yes, midway flips over, but they are down. They're going to be down to 0 ships because this is their final ship on the fleet. And because it's going to end up going in for repairs, Battleship Fleet 1 is going to end up here along with Surface Fleet 2. So we took 2 of their fleets out of action, but they got a crap ton of ships that are coming out, so they will replenish those. But the good news is by constantly taking them out, whatever they replenish is not going to be overwhelming to us. And yeah, we're slowly but surely whittling them down. Hopefully by 45, they'll all be gone. Okay, so that was turn 1 of 1943. How did that go? I think it went pretty swimmingly. We lost 2 objectives, but we gained 3. And we lost 2 submarines. It was probably the largest loss. I'm willing to take a gander that those submarines will be available again in 44, so I don't think they'll be permanently lost. And if we let's do their reinforcement check. So they rolled a 4 plus 8 is 12, okay? But then they have to subtract for every damaged unit. So 12, 11, 10, 9. So they're down to 9. And a 9 means 2 new ships come out. And 2 infantry come out. And 1 plane comes out. Now the 2 new ships are both cruisers. So for example, this fleet lost a cruiser, and it lost 2 cruisers, so I can replenish that fleet, for example. Or I could take, they actually go where there's the least amount. So this one had 0 cruisers, right? So that fleet is now back on board, and this fleet had nothing, and so they get a cruiser. It's like Oprah, you get a cruiser, you get a cruiser. So both of these are back in action, but they have 1 ship in them each. But that's how it works, and that's how the rules work. Okay, so then the repair step for Japan, this is the part where I was explaining. These ships then get repaired, and they go to the bottom of the pool. So even though I didn't sink them, the Yamato is going to be out of the game for quite a few turns until they get through the repair process. And so whichever one of you was saying, you know, put the submarines on this to reduce their reinforcements, that's actually now worth doing because they have such a big stack of stuff that they may not get through it all. So that might be worth considering. The problem is I only have 2 submarines, and they're only going to come out once every 3 turns. All right, I do got to get back to what I've been doing today, but I wanted to at least start the next turn and get to the movement step. So the next turn, of course, these are all coming down because I can now produce everything without any delays. So I have 1, 2 Aussie items. So I have an Aussie infantry and a plane. And then I have 2 regular planes for us, which are going to be nice because they're going to replace the ones I lost. And then these 2, we got a new Marine, so we can do some more naval invasions with our Marine. And an infantry to hold some ground. And then there's no ships that were produced yet. So, and then I have to take 7 points away. And since we're in March, April, for March, April of 1943, we produced 23. Oh, one thing I forgot to do So they were supposed to add a battalion to Wake Island, Caroline, and Solomon. And I made a huge mistake there because they would have added all three, right? This was a chart I was supposed to refer to. So my apologies. These guys would have had them added, but this was supposed to be before they did movement and all that other stuff. So I can't go back and retcon those, but that's what they were supposed to do. I can at least add the one to Caroline. So Caroline gets one. Then the other thing is that during reinforcements, they get one extra ship and one land-based aircraft, no matter what. So another cruiser came out and another aircraft came out. So this cruiser, it's 6 or 1/2, but there's only one ship in this one and there's one ship in this one. So we're going to add it to the battleship fleet first. Okay, so maybe they're going to get through that stack of ships quicker than we thought, because they're always going to. So let's do this for them. In March, April, they get one in New Guinea, the Gilbert Islands, and Marshall Islands. So New Guinea for sure is going to get one. And then Gilbert Islands does not, and then Marshall Islands does. So there's going to be some extra actions on their part because we don't have as many, guaranteed. We skipped that area. And like I said, we're getting 23 points, but I spent 7 in repairs. So that means I'm going to get, what, 15? That's not a lot, folks, 15. So I'm going to use it to just produce. I'm not going to use it to build factories. Here you can see we have room for 4 more infantry points. And I do need infantry because we just lost a bunch. So 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry. Okay, that's 4 points. And then we have no planes being produced, and we can produce 6 of those. And then we also have some ships to build, and we want to keep battle plan points, and we want to do scouting. We want to do all kinds of stuff that we can't do. I do want to get those ships going because the ships take forever to build. 6, 10, 12. We can get another big carrier going or a battleship. A big carrier is going to cost 6 points. Yeah, let's get the Bunker Hill going. And so that's going to be 10 points right there. 4 plus 6 is 10. And then I only have 5 points left. And if I want to replace some of these planes that I lost, for example, I have this one which costs 2. So I'm going to put that on, and I'm only going to have 3 points left, and I'm going to save those 3 points because I need them for battle plans if I have some big battles coming up. So I would have loved to have gotten more of my queues filled up. I guess I didn't have to build so many infantry, but to be quite honest, the infantry are crucial. I do have extra planes right now, more than I need because I have stuff sitting in Hawaii. So I'm okay in that regard, but it's not, super perfect. And for example, I'm going to fly this plane down here to Samoa because I can have 2 there. I can have 4 here. So we're going to send this guy to there to hold the Gilbert Islands. And this 32 infantry is going to go to the Gilbert Islands because I want to get that Marine out of there to do some invasions, right? We're going to invade with our Marines. So first of all, my scouting. I can't afford to scout this turn. So that's a huge handicap of mine, and I'm just going to have to live with it. I can put 6 planes on the Solomon Islands and 3 on New Caledonia. So I'm going to take my planes, 1, 2, and put them there. And then the 2 from Hawaii, I'm going to put here. And yes, I want to get planes. Well, here's the thing. I can send planes to places where infantry are on shore. This one has no infantry at all on shore. So this Marine is going to come to take Samoa back. And so I have 2 planes and a Marine, and then there's a surface fleet here that did get reinforced. So now they have 3 ships. They did not get reinforced. They have 3 ships, so they're vulnerable, and they are going to hold because they're at an objective. This surface fleet 3 here is going to hold because it's at an objective. I just don't know if I can do anything about it. The other thing is I forgot to move my ships. These ships are now on duty, and these ones are now going to be in the 43 to 45 queue, which is really far away. That's not good. So I'm going to have a turn here where there's no ships at all. So I have to strike while the iron is hot, right? And I have another Marine on the west coast here. So what do I want to do with him? Well, there's a couple options, right? We could take back the Marshall Islands. We could try to go after New Guinea. But in all honesty, I have to take back Midway because Midway's in trouble. This one actually looks juicy. It's worth trying for. But I got to figure out what to do with my fleet. And that's my challenge. And this guy, by the way, would be on the stack. So for my Marine, I would love to take a new target, but I have to use it to reclaim an old target, which is Midway. So I got to send him. Now, here's the other thing. There's 3 of them here on Wake Island. So I can actually send these to try to help reclaim Midway. The problem is that they don't go straight to the bunkers like a Marine would. But yes, I could theoretically send these around as well to help in the various battles. And I think what I'm going to do is just divide them up. So one's going to go here and one's going to go to Samoa. So I have multiple units. Midway for sure needs to go. All they have to do is roll 1 sortie, go here, and I'm going to lose this. Or roll 1 sortie, go here, and I'm going to lose this. In fact, this Carrier Fleet 3 is staying because they're going to do a hold order when they're at an objective. So I can still, I can come back and finish this fleet off, for example. There's a lot of options. I just don't have enough Navy to do it all. And they're still going to get they have 2 carriers and a battleship with them, whereas this surface fleet is 2 destroyers and a submarine, for example. So maybe I can divide my Navy and go after each one. And that's what I got to ultimately decide. I could spend some scouting points to maybe see what happens to these other guys. But here's the beauty of it. He's not moving, and this one's not going to move because he's at New Guinea. So these ships aren't moving around as much. And that's the way 1942 was supposed to be. So I think 1942 wouldn't be as precarious as I was making it out to be. In this case, it's interesting because I know I can send my Navy to either of these and maybe try to finish off those areas. And this one being more from a defensive perspective and this one more from an offensive perspective. And I'm contemplating splitting my Navy in half and sending 1 carrier to each. And that might be the right move. So I really got to get going. Let's see what I can do if I'm going to split. So if I had a cruiser here and a destroyer, let's figure out what to do with the subs later. A destroyer here and a cruiser here. We'd send another cruiser over there, another cruiser over here. I got a battleship, which I would send that way. And then, yeah, we got the Saratoga and the Yorktown. So I'd send the Yorktown here and the Saratoga there. And then I would send the 2 subs with him. I mean, I know we can do the reinforcement thing. I get that. But I would send the 2 subs there so we can go after their carriers. So that's what I would do. So when I come back, we would do Japanese movement and then go from there. So, and of course, I'm going to reserve the right to retcon anything. All right, I do have this. So I'm going to send this plane to here. And then this guy can reinforce somewhere. So I have infantry here, for example. I think I'm going to go and reinforce New Caledonia, for example. So let's do that. Technically speaking, he would be on a transport until we see what they're going to do. All right, thanks for watching. Stay awesome, stay healthy and safe.